It's unofficially midterm season here in New Jersey, with candidates in some hotly contested congressional districts in full campaign mode as they gear up for the primaries on June 2nd. District 7 is home to incumbent Congressman Tom Kean Jr., who's been absent from Washington for weeks now. One of the candidates vying to take his seat and flip the district back to blue is Dr. Tina Shah, who's one of 4 Democrats in the race. Shah is a critical care doctor who once served as senior advisor to the U.S. Surgeon General, where she prioritized the mental and emotional well-being of medical staff across the country. She's now asking voters in CD7 to give her a chance. Dr. Shah joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Joanna.
Can you tell us why you're running in this race and in this district?
I'm running because as a physician, I have just seen too many people be hurt by Trump's policies, and I'm tired of watching Tom Kean Jr. and the other Republicans in Congress not do anything about it. Joanna, I want to tell you, I recently took care of a woman, Mrs. J, who came in because her insurance company denied her asthma inhalers and she had to be put on a ventilator. This is unacceptable in our country. And that's why I've actually dedicated my professional career to addressing our broken healthcare system.
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit, because clearly you have a whole lot of experience here, and healthcare costs continue to rise across the country. They're choking out families. Many have dropped off of for the Affordable Care Act plans. School systems even are getting choked by these rising costs year over year. What actually can be done to address those rising costs, even beyond subsidies?
Well, first, we do have to reverse what the Trump administration did. We need to take back what happened in the big ugly bill. And instead of giving tax breaks to billionaires and corporations, we need to make sure that we fund Medicaid, and 1 in 5 New Jerseyans relies on Medicaid. And we do need to restore the tax credits so that when a family decides to buy insurance on the marketplace, it's affordable, because right now it's astronomical. It's over $10,000 per family of 4 just to afford health insurance.
I know you champion some efforts. You mentioned insurance companies. You championed an effort to get insurance companies to stop denying care for essential needs and services. You mentioned asthma. What does that look like here in New Jersey? Could you scale that?
So New Jersey has now one of the strongest pieces of legislation to stop insurance companies from prior authorization tactics to delay care. I was proud to organize a grassroots movement where we got a bill passed. And now, if you are in a regulated policy by the state, you can't have your medical care denied. Before this, people would wait up to 14 or 15 days to hear from an insurance company if that critical MRI was, approved for their insane back pain, or if that medical test was approved. And now it's either 24 hours if it's urgent, or 72 hours if it's not urgent. But we need to take this playbook that we developed in New Jersey all the way up to DC, because people are really hurting right now.
There's a whole lot more happening beyond healthcare, although that's a huge and critical piece. But you are the daughter of immigrants. I want to ask your thoughts about ICE activity here across our country. Do you believe that there is a role for ICE to play in ensuring that only those who are here legally remain here in this country?
ICE plays a critical role in protecting our borders, and we really do need ICE to make sure that we abide and that they follow law and order. But what's happened under the Trump administration is that we now have masked men on the street picking up people that look like me and many other people in our community here in New Jersey's 7th District, and that's unacceptable. They're going into our schools, they're going into our hospitals. These are sacred places, and they don't have the right to do so.
If you were elected to Congress, how would you handle the case that's happening in Roxbury right now? Of course, under the new DHS Secretary, Markwayne Mullin, we know that he's reviewing the purchase of this warehouse in Roxbury that's meant to house at least 1,500 detainees. How would you handle that if you were the representative?
Well, Joanna, this is really interesting. In Roxbury, the Republican town council and mayor and the Democrats all agree that we don't want that detention center. And they sought Tom Kean Jr., the sitting member of Congress, his help, and he was unavailable and did not help. So as a member of Congress, I'm going to be listening to my constituents and fighting for them, unlike the current member, Tom Kean Jr.
We know that redistricting made this a very uphill climb, I'll say, for any Democrat looking to unseat the incumbent congressman. 20,000 votes now are there. I should say there are more 20,000 more Republican voters in the district than there are Democratic voters, and yet no one's seen or heard from the congressman in weeks. Do you think that you have a chance to actually take over and turn this district blue? Of course, if you win the primary.
Well, I love this question, Joanna. And let me just first say, as a physician, I wish all the best to, Congressman Tom Kean Jr. as he's dealing with his medical issues. And as far as flipping this seat and winning this race so that I can best represent New Jersey's 7th, I wholeheartedly have the strongest path to win. I'm actually the only candidate who has worked for both a Republican president and a Democrat president. This is a district that wants to see things getting done, and I have a track record of doing that.
Just very quickly, we are in conflict with Iran. How would you handle that? Do you believe that we should continue to support Israel both financially and with weapons? I know that's a loaded question with a short amount of time left.
Well, Trump went against, the Constitution and decided to start a war with Iran. As a member of Congress, I'll hold him in check. And second, I wholeheartedly believe in supporting Israel, and I believe in unconditional support when it comes to U.S. providing aid. We need to make sure that we address the problems that are happening and the challenges to ensure Israel's security. And at the same time, my heart really breaks for the humanitarian crisis happening in Gaza. Everyone deserves basic medical care. Everyone deserves access to food. And what we're watching now is no access to medical care and famine. The global community really needs to step up here.
All right, Dr. Tina Shah, Democratic primary candidate in Congressional District 7. Of course, the primary election is on June 2nd. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Joanna.